Greetings, everyone. I'm not going to keep you long. I know it's Friday night. Some of you may be shopping, some of you may be out, but I'm still going to post this video. And I hope that the others in the on Patreon get a chance to see this for themselves. And I wanted to go over some updates, the things that's going on now. What are we looking at now? What's happening now? Okay, so much has happened since that election. So much has happened. After the election, they rolled out the DEI. They began to restrict and limit resources such as SNAP or T. They limit those resources. So you're not going to be able to hardly get those resources, or you're going to be limited up to how many resources you can get. And who benefits from those resources? Women and children. They've outlawed abortion. So they're kind of like forcing you to have these children. They have not hold men accountable who do not want to take care of these children, or even recommend vasectomies for them. All of these restrictions and laws are targeted at women. Okay? And the numbers are declining of them. A lot of them are lonely. A lot of us women are opting out of having children. I mean, it's a variety of things. It's economics. It could be finances, and it just could be in men. We just don't want to go through that anymore because no one wants to keep raising children in the single parent home, especially in this era here where everything's so expensive. It would be impossible, almost impossible, for a woman to raise children by herself the way this economic structure is set up now. It would put more of a strain on her. So we already know that. Okay, so that's one of the things I told, the great mother said that it will be changes. These ingredients, they are here and they are cooking. And so what else has happened after that? So now after that happened, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything because so much they have been really doing a lot of changes rapidly for women. They are really trying, and this is done on a covert level. This is so alarming because they're doing it on a covert level. And some women don't even recognize the writing on the wall. They might just be thinking, oh, they just change stuff. No, they are getting ready. They are zooming in on women, on the XX chromosome. Now, it doesn't make sense for women to have children and you ain't putting nothing in force to protect these women and children. You see what P. Diddy did. We got an all-time high sexual trafficking, human trafficking here. You ain't did nothing, set nothing up for that to safeguard these women and children, but yet you want to force women to have children. So I'm compelled to believe that you want bodies to continue to do the same thing, to continue to serve you in the same capacity as abuse and some sort of subservient slave. Because you have ignored all the facts, everything else that you have caused and everything else. You've ignored all that shit. You're ignoring it. And I can't say You don't know that you're the number one predator of women and children because you know. We can go up and pull up statistics. You are the problem. XY chromosome is the problem. But you're going to ignore all of that for your control and power. And then not long after that, and just like I was telling them, and I probably have mentioned it here, right long after that, what happened? We started seeing UAP. These and now they used to call them UFOs. Now they call them unidentified aerial phenomenon. That's a new term. That's a very new term because they used to call them UFOs. Let me tell you something. And just like I said, they're not going to be able to do what they think they want to do because the Great Mother already has a fail-safe here for the cosmic being to preserve the original cosmic being life, the X chromosome. The woman is the original cosmic being. Now, what's so tripped out about that UAP, and I was watching them, they say that these was drones, but they didn't know where they came from. You know, they said some of them came from China, somewhere else. They said China was doing the androids. It wasn't them, so they thought it was man-made. And then some people said, no, we don't have androids that big that can fly like that. But what's interesting me is that you could see the android and that looked man-made. That did look like some alien. That looked like some man-made drone that we probably ain't never been exposed to, because you know the military is very, very advanced. You know, they could have got Elon Musk to design them things and then bring them out later. So I don't even trust that. I think those drones were man-made, but what the drones were chasing was these orbs that captured my attention. That captured my attention when I saw those drones try to get next to an orb and the orb disabled the drone. I said, oh, now they claim they don't know what it is, but I believe they know exactly what's going on. They know that these orbs are connected to the divine feminine on this planet. Like the Great Mother told me, she said the fail-safe to preserve X chromosome life is in the ethers. And this is why they go through all these changes and trying to pollute the air and spread and all this sort of stuff. Because there are downloads and information that we are supposed to receive that some of us don't receive, especially women. And still with them doing that, we still waking up. Like I told, like I had said, the Great Mother is going to start waking us up. It's going to look like some sort of nesting, but in reverse. Women are automatically, we don't want to have children. We don't want to be, we don't want to have these relationships like this with these men. It's almost innate in some of these young women. They just don't want to do it. They took a brief observation. It was enough for them to make a choice not to get involved in that. Now, I firmly believe that these orbs, because see, they got us focusing on these drones and making us think that these drones are not from here. But yet when you see these drones in the air, they are trying to get close to these other little light orbs, little lights in the air. And every time they try to get close to them, they lose power and fall to the ground. I think that's a cover-up for what they're really trying to capture there, those light orbs. I really believe that. Okay, because just like the great mother told me, she said the fail safe is in the ethers. They cannot commit the atrocities and the abuse of the XX chromosome because of the way the ethers are set up. Okay, there's a fail safe within the ethers that will shut down the XY chromosome. They wish they can control that. They already know it's a fail safe there. They already know that their XY genetics was not meant to live for a long time on this planet because the XY chromosome is no more than 300,000 years old. The XX chromosome is way older than the XY chromosome. That's what you got going on there. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just tip of the iceberg when they're seeing these things manifest within the ethers. Because whatever this light is, it is not in the form where they can capture it. And again, this planet is divine feminine. It's a reason why they call her Mother Earth. It's a reason why we have Mother Nature. It's a reason why women have a moon cycle. She is the original cosmic being. Men do not have XY chromosome. Let me stop calling them that and call them XY chromosome. XY chromosome do not have a cosmogenetic link. I don't know where they came from. And it's not that I don't want to hear that either. You're a man hater. You don't like me. It is not that. It is that a lot of us are coming to understand the XY chromosome. We're becoming to understand the nature of the XY chromosome. And it would do you good to find out more about your genetics. Whoever engineered you, tamper with your DNA, which is some of us in there. But with that Y chromosome, it created some type of parasitic behavior in you. It made you degenerate. And so you have these, whoever they are, play with your genetics, put you in the position that you're in. Because I can't fathom the original cosmic being putting you in a place of authority because you're not the original galactic guardian on this planet. Why would they do that? And XY chromosome, you got to get out that ego. You are going to have to get out of the way. Because if you don't get out of the way, this is happening. The tables would turn. I know y'all got something up in the middle of 2025 to try to condition us to more abuse and subservient behavior. That's up your sleeve. That's up your sleeve. And women, be ready for that. They're slowly trying to condition you back into subserviency and slavery. They wish they can take you back to 1930. Where you didn't have a choice but to depend on them. Because that's the only way they have control. You understand me? And this has happened before. This has happened before. They have always took the wise women out first. What you think that witch hunt was about? And then they turn around and they marry these young girls that's 13, 14 years old. That's what they was doing back in the 1930s and 20s. Most of these men, it was legal to marry girls 13, 14 years old to these 50-year-old men, 30-year-old men. And the tables is turning. They want to do it again because women are waking up and opting out of having children and getting in relationships with them. So they have to make it. They have to make resources a scarcity to give women women. What I'm trying to say, to give women, to push women back into dependent on men in that way again. I don't think that DEI thing, that has nothing to do. I don't think it has anything to do with race. Remember, women are minorities too. I think it has everything to do with women, that they're trying. I mean, you already have control over our anatomy. You shut that down. But yet you won't put restrictions on the man anatomy. And y'all are the number one predators of women and children. You're violating women and children. You go do the research. You are the number one predator on this planet, XY chromosome. And I can't believe that you fix your mouth, some of you, to want women to be subservient to you. And your forefathers have been trafficking and unaliving women for over 10,000 years. How long did you think that was going to go on? How long did you think you was going to be in power? Because you're not the original genetic material from here. You stole all these women. Whatever happened, I tell the story the way I tell it. And they tell a story that somebody came from aliens, I don't know, came from somewhere else and engineered them. That is their story. Our story is that we originated from amphibian beings from the water. Mama Wati, Mama Wata, Mammy Wata. That's our story. That all life comes from the water. That's our story. That's XX chromosome. And you can see that when we carry children, because they are in our belly in water, born from water. So everything fits with us. Your story doesn't fit because you are not from here. Yeah, they were chasing orbs. They were chasing orbs. I seen it in that way, because when they were showing it, they're just showing us the drones on TV. But somebody captured a drone trying to follow this light orb looking thing. And as soon as that drone got too close to that orb, that drone fell down. It just completely lost power. And that's not the first time that has happened. They have always been trying to get closer to these things, and the power, whatever the machine they're operating, malfunctions. It malfunctions. And this has been going on since they have been seeing these UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, there is a fail-safe in the ethers. I talked about this a little bit. I think you were on Patreon, Chloe. I'm not sure. But I talked about this a little bit on Patreon. And whoever they are, these XY chromosome, and I'm not upset at men. They have been misled and miseducated about who they are and what they places here. And whoever these things put them in charge, they are the true culprits. They are the one who is benefiting off harnessing the original cosmic being energy as well, because they made them to be parasitic. So whoever made them and designed them are parasitic as well. Because man is constantly crying for woman to love him, to extract her energy, to be his mommy. to be his, his sex slave, to be his maid. All of this, he's just extracting energy from her, just sucking out her life force. And we have to remember when these things came here, and we already talked about Billy Carson, you already see what happened to him. That didn't make any sense, because that's just like when they went to that debate, that's like believing one lie of another one. There was a lie too that this man trying to talk about with Christianity and this stuff with Jesus. All y'all lying. All of you, both of you are lying. Both of you are covering up the fact that all of this comes from divine feminine. It's just your lie. Look, his lie looks a little better because he's Christian. And Billy Carson was not Christian. But it's still the same lie. Billy Carson was sitting up there lying when he said everything came from Thoth. And I had to tell you, no. He is mistaken again. All this come from Seshit. Or Sheshet, if I'm pronouncing it right. And this man lying, I was just talking to my daughter about it. This man was lying about Jesus. Now, we know that the ancients always talked about a Christ, always coming from a virgin. I wrote a book on it called Christ Consciousness. But originally, that story came from the divine feminine. It was never meant to be taken literally. And then we have this character, Jesus. I don't know if he lived. I find it hard to believe that, because the patriarchs lied about so much stuff. And Constantine, the one, told them they was going to worship Jesus like a real person. And you had some priests saying, no, we ain't going to do that, because that's not, this is about the spiritual evolution. That story is about the spiritual evolution of humans. It was never to be taken literally. And they massacred some priests who tried to correct that, because they wanted Jesus to be looked at as a real person. They want their God to be personified. Again, they are copying women. So they can't embody the divine feminine. But I guess they thought to themselves, if we can make up a masculine deity, we can embody that like the women embody the divine feminine. But to do that, you would have to do all your rituals backwards. You would have to degrade, abuse, and punish women. And what do you see them doing? Degrade, abuse women. They do the ritual, even though the rituals are set to venerate and adore the divine feminine, they do the opposite. They get these women and abuse them, trying to suppress and subject the XX chromosome, the original cosmic being on this planet. Some of them, I think, because of the XY programming runs so deep, and patriarchy is the foundation that they operate from, that we all operate from. The man is the center of everything. He is so deluded and illusional, he can't even see. He's unconscious of what he's doing. That's just how deep the programming goes and how ill they are in their mind. And what I recommend is, for men, I don't hate you, I don't dislike you, but I do know that you are a predator and you are not safe. You are an innate predator. You manipulate by nature. You try to control by nature. This is your weakness. This is your flaw. And that is the very thing that's going to help you destroy yourself. You're going to become extinct. Your genetics are already declining now. And what does that mean? Y'all could possibly mutate back into the XX chromosome. That's the original cosmic being on this planet. Your XY chromosome was never meant to thrive and live and exist on this planet the way the XX chromosome. The XX chromosome is older than the XY chromosome by millions of years. That's a fact. I don't care how much you beat your chest. I don't care how much you say weak women are. I don't care about any of the egotistical things that you say. I really don't. I don't care about any of the egotistical things you say because the biology is there. That's why it's no reason to go debate with them. I trip out on women that get on these live streams and they invite these men over here and they try to talk about their problems and differences. You're not going anywhere with that. You're talking to a mentally sick individual, a degenerate mutant species. He is incapable of having an equal level discussion with you. Not many of them can do it. So you are just wasting your time going back and forth with him, trying to compromise or get some type of answers of why they do the shit that they do. And they have been telling you. You heard Nick Cannon say he had narcissistic personality disorder. He likes to manipulate women. You have Corey Holcomb say he likes dealing with women that kind of poor because he can control them. They telling you what it is. It's not just them. It's not just them. You can believe behind him saying that it's 20 more other men that think the same shit. You see what Brian McKnight did? He disowned all his older children and had another child and named it Brian McKnight Jr. He meant that. They really mean that. They don't have any maternal. The only real love, women, is the love between a mother and a child. That is it. Shira 7 was not lying to you. And see, that's one reason too. They fight so hard. Men fight so hard because they really want you to love them like you love them children. You have some single men, some men love dating women with children because he know he can get right in there with the children and get his needs met. This is what we're dealing with when we're dealing with X. And look at his mentality. Because when I start looking at the XY chromosome, I'm looking at the psychology. Okay? I'm a shaman. So I look at a lot of people's psychology because that's where you're going to be able to pin down their true spiritual essence by the psychology and behaviors. And when you look at this behavior that they are displaying, it is parasitic. If you pay attention and listen to some of our experience that women we have been sharing on social media about dating some of these narcissists, we have the same experience with a different man. That is because a lot of them were designed that way. They were programmed that way. And some of them not even religious. They will even go back to the Bible and try to justify why they should be leaders over women. And some of them ain't picked up a Bible in their life. Some of them ain't never went to church. But because this patriarchy was spewed religiously, politically, it's everywhere. It's keeping a lot of us sick. He's going to reach back and do that because he is trying to keep his power. And he doesn't have any. And I know that's scary to think about because when I wrote my book, Matriarch the Patriarch, the Great Mother was sharing a lot of things with me. Then when I shared this ministry, she dropped something else on me. She said, go look how old his chromosome is. Go look how old his genetics is. Look it up. I had never looked it up before. After writing all that book, I had never looked at it before. I looked up their genetics, and their genetics are the XY chromosome is only no older than 300,000 years old, if that. Looked up the XX chromosome, it's millions of years old. It's the original genetic structure of this planet. Okay? So, even with that, don't even go back and forth with them because you don't even know who the hell you was. Because if you did, you would be quiet. You would be quiet. You sound worse than racist. See, a lot of people thought racism was a thing. You're going to see that all these men going to pull together, whether they black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, whatever, that's got this type of parasitic behavior, they are going to pull together and do this. Do you understand me? It was them from the beginning. Hi, Miscellaneous AB. Yeah, you came in at the right time too, baby. Originally, you got to remember everything was divine feminine. We could replicate ourselves. And whoever these beings was, whoever they are, they couldn't replicate themselves. I've told this story already. So our great mother said, okay, we had Tartarian technology. We were very advanced. At this point, we just want to help him replicate himself and get him the hell out of here. Because you have already disrupted the frequency coming through our portals. That's what happened to Atlantis and a lot of those older civilization. It was that. It was invasion. This planet is supposed to have, we're supposed to be hearing a higher sophonic frequency than we do now. But they stop it with the chemtrails, polluting things, misleading things, pushing their agenda. And women have been asleep, I would say, for the last, they put us back to sleep with that Jesus thing. And you think that Bible was first used on black people? No, it wasn't. It was used on you first, woman. XY chromosome. They used it on you first, XX chromosome. They used it on you first. They use it to keep you subservient and put themselves in divine authority and power. And that's where we get the Vatican from now, because it's supposed to be black women, black prophetess, where you see the Vatican is now, supposed to be nothing but black high priestess and black women. Really women. Just to keep it simple. There should be the attire that they wear, them robes and stuff, that is what we wore. Priestess. That's what we wore. They copied everything. When I tell you they copied everything, I mean, when they did that book burning and burned all that books and all that stuff, they burned all that stuff and they began to plagiarize everything. And it's a shame because it's almost like they left nothing untouched. They left nothing untouched. Yep. They copied and pasted. Just like Miscellaneous AB said, they copied and pasted. There's nothing original about him. There's nothing original about him. Everything he got is from his writing, from his speech, from learning weaponry, everything. He knows he got it from us. That's a fact. And they do better. Now, the great mother and I already told them, you can roll with it or you can get rolled over. In 2025, you are going to see, you think you've seen some UAPs. You think you saw something. When they get ready to really amp up this abuse on us, it's going to be like the day the earth stood still. Because they're going to see the great mother. They're going to see the great mother in action. They are going to see women possess power that's beyond their understanding. And they're going to have to bow. Now, for the ones who don't, you know, they want to keep that going on. They want to keep that aggression going on. They want to keep this going on. Like I said, there is a fail-safe. I heard one man talk about it on TikTok. I was amazed to see him be educated about it and openly talk about it. But there's a fail-safe in the ethers. Whatever that's in their genetics that's not from here, that ether or gas is designed to eliminate them. I've talked about it on the Patreon channel. I've showed you an example of that. It's a fail-safe in the ethers. Now, this is why they couldn't completely unalive us. Because every time they go to do something like this, they start seeing these lights, orbs, other entities. But now so much time has passed, their time is up. Their time is up. The tables are starting to turn and they are grasping. They can't stop it. They cannot stop it. They can fight as long as they want to. But like the great mother say, if you don't get down, I'm gonna lay you down. I'm gonna lay you down. You don't have to worry. They're so wary too when you have abused and subjected women like that for so long and enslaved them. That's just like white people. They're afraid that black people gonna do the same thing to them that they did to us. Men are afraid that we're going to do the same thing to them that they did to us. That's a lot of what's going on there. They know what they did. The things that you have done to the original being on this planet is unspeakable. That's why every time they go to look up under that, human trafficking and stuff, they have to put it back down because it runs all the way up to the White House, all the way up to the Vatican. They have been doing this since they have been in power. They have just hid it very well. If you go back and look how long the Catholics has been doing this to children, It goes all the way back to the 11th or 12th century. They're just not addressing it in this era. That's just how long they have been doing what they are doing. And they don't want it to end. This is what it takes to feed them. And if they could have it their way, why you think they make movies about violating women and unaliving them? If they could have it their way, that's what they would do. The first thing they do in war is go in there and start unaliving the men and maybe some of the elderly, and they instantly begin to violate the young women and children, or young girls and children. What did Charleston White say? He said, when we go to war, we're gonna be the raping, and we're gonna do this and that. That's what he said. That's what Charleston White said. And then I think one of the women said, well, what about your wife? Your wife, girlfriend might get raped. Ain't nobody raping my bitch, but you gonna go out and rape another woman. These are the men that we are around. Whether your brother, your sister, he is still an XY crumpler. Whether he's your brother, your uncle, your dad, take your emotions out the mix. Emotions don't have no place here. We are talking about biology. Emotions have no place. The fact of the matter is, XY chromosome is not supposed to be leading anything. He is supposed to be sitting down somewhere. If he's supposed to be worshiping anything, he should be worshiping the divine feminine. But now they start bound down to a woman, and now what you got now? They are lovers of men. They are emotionally homosexual. They are socially homosexuals. The gay men been telling you all the time that all these men is gay. Even the out gay men has been telling us, y'all men is gay. They all of them on DL. I have no reason to doubt that, because they seem to be very fond of each other. They seem to understand each other and have this empathy for one another. I don't care if you got a uncle, you can have an uncle. And if he see your boyfriend, your husband out cheating, more than likely he ain't gonna tell you. And when you do find out, if you find out he gonna say, well, that was none of my business. And the reason why they have been able to keep the leverage that they have, because they have their boy code, their man code. And women, they have taught us to compete and tear each other down and keep us isolated. We don't know how to get in. We don't know how to get along with each other and love on each other, uplift each other, empower each other. We don't know how to do that. We don't do nothing but compete with each other, talk down to each other, compete with these men for somebody that don't even give. He don't care. He don't care about you. His idea of love is how much abuse you can take from him. You right, Amy Mon. That's his idea of love. Your idea of love is totally different from his. If you was to ask a man what he looked for in a woman, he'll probably describe a slave to you. They don't know. To us, we're looking for our king, our knight in shining armor, a protector and provider and all that. That man is looking for a slave. Is it his fault? Is all of them like that? No, but it's a lot. It's more than it's a lot of them like that. In fact, there's too many of them on the planet. There's not supposed to be this many XY chromosomes on the planet. But because they committed femicide, it made their numbers grow even more when they committed femicide to some of these in some of these countries. Because they value the XY chromosome so much. That's just like this man who set his wife up to be raped by all these men. Y'all see that? How many men it was? 50 men. He let 50, I think it was 50 men, rape his wife. This is what you're dealing with. Rape his wife. And I don't think, he probably got 20 years, and I don't think that's enough, because what you did was hideous. It was hideous. It was disgusting, repulsive. It was unhuman. It was inhuman. And you call these men humans doing stuff like that? That man only got 20 years, and the men that actually raped her, none of them got more than 10 years. And I'm sure they let out sex offenders real quick. Now, it's amazing to me of how lenient that they are with these XY chromosomes when they do something horrendous like that. It's probably more than that. He just got caught. Look at this. Say it was at least 83, but only 51 were caught. Ain't that something? I'm telling you. And he is not the only one. Like and then I look at Dr. Umar Johnson. He needs to sit down. He needs to heal himself. Because of the stuff that come out your mouth, you still playing the manipulation game with women of color. Black women don't need to listen to him because you still playing that patriarchy game. You still want somebody to have sympathy for P. Diddy after he did that stuff because you're focused on him getting caught and not the other white men. So what you saying, you want black men to be able to get away with the same shit white men do. That's equal. That's the equal power you want with them. You want to be able to commit atrocities against women and children and nothing is said about it. That's what it sounds like when that shit come out of his mouth. Because you ain't mentioned this man has unalived his wife or his significant other, his kid's mama. He has terrorized women and children. And you want us to have empathy for him. He did this to our sisters. They look just like us. And all of a sudden, we supposed to have empathy for him because he's a black man. But he's the same black man that's a predator to the black women. Make it make sense. That's why I said, Dr. Umar, you need to sit down. Because you ain't unpacked your own stuff. You ain't even got no woman in your life. And the woman you did, that we did her, you had intercourse with, you slut-shamed her like she did something wrong after she was supporting your campaign. So I don't want to hear shit from you. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I want you to sit down. I don't give a damn about how much you know about psychology and a black man. You quoting all these quotes. Do you know the statistics of men unaliving women? You quote that shit off your head. Did you know that black men are the number one predators of black women? Did you know that? So stop trying to make lift them up like y'all look good. You always been a fucking problem. You always been a fucking problem. Now, that is what pissed me off when you try to paint a pretty picture and then put women. They don't think that, even him, you can't think nothing about your mama, your sister, nobody, if you will sit there and have empathy of a man who sat there and violated women and children. I don't trust you, because you only one step away of doing what he was doing if you're going to justify that shit and have empathy for it. I don't trust Dr. Umar. I don't trust him. And if a man mouth is moving about creation, don't believe shit that come out that hole in his face. Don't believe nothing that come out his, because he ain't never told the truth. Why he gonna tell it now? They still sticking to the story that welfare took away their black woman. No, you took away your black woman. You was in the home not wanting to do some molesting and raping children and shit like that, and abandoning your significant other. So we have to go somewhere and get resources to help raise these children. So stop blaming that shit on the government. Stop blaming that. That's an old song. That's what I'm saying. See what I'm talking about, Chloe? That's some bullshit. Stay away from that man. And if they love him some more, let the XY chromosome support his ass, because he is running a campaign. He don't give a damn about us. You best believe that. And I bet a lot of women gave a lot of money to his campaign. Stay the hell away from him. He is pushing the virus, the Kool-Aid. He want women to drink that Kool-Aid. It's the reason why ain't nobody want to marry his ass either. He just as toxic as the next while he's sitting up here trying to counsel people. It's still, I can't. I can't with them. I just sit up there and look at them. And then you have these pygmies. We can't even trust them because they done drunk the Kool-Aid. Their identity is their boyfriend, their husband, it's their everything. You have to watch them women, because them women will set you up to get hurt. And some of these women, they got these sons, they know these damn sons is raggedy. You know your son is raggedy. You know your son raggedy. And then when somebody do something to him, you crying all over the place. You ready to go blow up something. You ready to go hurt somebody. Well, you knew he was a damn fool when you had him. You knew he was a damn fool when you had him. I knew a friend of mine. Her daughter was dating this guy. This boy beat his mama and his sister ass. Yes. Then start beating on her daughter. See, so a lot of these women know they sons is raggedy. And they need to know too, when you have an XY chromosome, one XX, when you have an XY chromosome, it changes your thinking pattern. It changes your mind. It messes with your mind because of that Y genetic. Something with that Y genetic, it messes with women's mind. You want to act like you didn't see him do the shit that he did. You saw him in there messing with that girl like that, but you gonna, not my son. I ain't gonna let you do my son like that. You ain't gonna have my son. So I'm gonna protect these men that's like that. I got a cousin. I even got a cousin. He's so sick. He sat there and got this, what? He was he 30 yet? No, we weren't even 30 yet. We probably was in our 25, 26. He got this 11, 12-year-old girl pregnant. He ended up going to jail. He been in jail ever since. This has been some years ago. because I think we was about 26, 27 when that happened. I'm 52 now. So that's been about 20-some years ago. He got that girl pregnant. Her daddy was in the military. And he said, if I ever see you, I'm going to do something to you. And do you know, he wrote my mama talking about he need a place to parole out to. It can't be around churches and school. Well, I don't know where you're going to parole out to, because people live here in urban cities, and it's schools and churches and playgrounds everywhere. I guess you're going to be paroled out in the middle of the damn desert. Yes. I guess you're going to get paroled out in the middle of the desert some damn where. Because that's the only place I can think of where ain't no school, no church, no playground, no children. And you damn sure can't come here. So my mom, she gave him my address, and he started writing me. Do you know, in his mind, he is going to get out and marry this girl. He got pregnant, this 11-year-old girl. Now, mind you, now he been here 20 years. This girl had she got a whole life to live. She had this baby and everything. But in his mind, he's going to get out of jail and marry this girl. And they're going to live happily ever after. I said, please don't write me anymore, because you sick. You sick if you think you finna get out of jail. This girl, life is fresh. She young. And you want her to regress and build a fucking life with you after you try to destroy her life with your penis. I don't write me no more. I told him, I said, boy, you're not dealing with reality. You're not dealing with reality. And my mom was just like, I said, I'm not listening to this shit. You should have told him that. But what can I expect out of you? Because you didn't even check your brother when he violated me. See, a lot of we got this going on in our community. You didn't even check your brother when he violated, but what can I expect from you? I don't care how much I love you. I don't care if you're brother, cousin, or whatever else. I'm going to check you. I'm telling they sick. That is so sick. He's 15 years old. She's 6. What? But they that sick. What do you have? The pedophiles, they say they love children. They would never, in their mind, they're not hurting the children. That's what the children want. They are going to try to normalize all that stuff. Believe me when I tell you this. You think that what they're doing now is an audacity. Wait till we get in the middle of 2025. It's going to blow your mind what they've been doing, what they've been keeping from us. It's going to blow your mind what they've been keeping from us and what they're going to try to condition women into. That is what we're dealing with now. And they think they got us where they want us. But every time they get ready to do some bull stuff, they start seeing these UAPs. They start seeing these UFOs. And they try to hide it. But we looking, I thought it was very suspicious. Right after y'all was talking y'all stuff. It is. It is. It is played out. They are on their last number. And they are fighting for dear life. Especially when women said, no, you know what, we'll just cut that right on off for you. You don't need no yoni. That's what women need to do. All women need to cut it off. Women have the power to stop wars if they just cut off their yoni. Say, if you want to do that, you want to be doing that, because you're not going to be out there hurting them people and stuff like that, and then come back to me. I'm not going to be with you like that. The women, they keep us dumbed down and ignorant to our power. And then they have been programmed to make us think that we don't count, when we the very damn thing to keep this world running. Because without us producing people, you ain't got nobody to control. They ain't got nobody to control if women. What Elon Musk mother said, I heard that Elon Musk mother said, we need to get to a place where we can start 40 and a half children, because her son need people to work in their factories. They telling you what they think about you, and she opened her mouth to say that shit. But it doesn't surprise me, because she had an XY chromosome who messed up her thinking. She don't realize that is her biggest predator. She don't even know it. She said this: Donald Trump and Elon Musk have threatened to shut down the federal government. That is the latest update. Remember the last time that happened? That was in 2000 something. Maybe when Barack was president. And Canada has threatened to shut off power. They think women are stupid. They really do. But that's the narcissist for you. The narcissist always thinks he's smarter than the person that he's manipulating. He doesn't know that the person that he's trying to manipulate can see 5 steps ahead of him. In his mind, he's smarter. They have groomed these men to be sociopath, narcissistic individuals. And some of it, I think, is innate. It's innate once they get the chiming in with each other, and they get to justifying each other behavior. It's like the point of no return. And a lot of them don't want to get counseling and therapy. I agree with you, Amy Mon. I'm telling you. And so right now, more than ever, I would hate for you to look up in the middle of 2025 and be isolated as a woman, and you don't have a support group. You don't have a community that's checking on you, that's, that you can relay resources with, because these men, they are going to fight. Just like you seen the white people fight tooth and nail to keep their power, you are going to see the XY chromosome fight tooth and nail to keep their power. And don't you think that they are not all in agreement? Why wouldn't they agree on trying to enslave and subject women? This is how this all started in the first place. They all agreed to go in and annihilate the matriarch culture, take over the spirituality, make it a religion, base the politics off the religion, and put women in subservient roles on every part of the globe. This is what happened. And they put men in charge. See, I know what happened. You ain't gonna fool me. I don't believe shit that come out your mouth. Because I know your lips is funky, and I know a funky pair of lips will say anything. Just like I kept on seeing Billy Carson run his mouth. He was, a matter of fact, I had already called him out. I ain't got the. Now they ain't gonna go quietly. They gonna go out fighting. And some women might have to strap up. Some women might have to strap up. You might have to keep an extra eye on your children. Because you seen how they've been abducting these people. They taking them from stores and anywhere now. That's just how much a shortage they're having now. They're coming at the woodworks. They're going out hunting for vulnerable women and children. That's what we're dealing with. And I don't recommend anybody to get on any podcast and start debating with them. It will be useless. You're talking about somebody who don't want to see that error, just like some people don't want to see racism. Some white people don't want to see racism. The same thing happens with man, with XY chromosome. He don't want to see that. Why would he see that it's working for him? You the only one that got a problem with it, so you the one crazy. You the one got the problem. You don't know your place. This is what women supposed to do. This why you gonna die lonely. No, you, sir, are going to die lonely. You, sir, are filling the nursing homes, leaving this plane alone with no visitors. That's happening to you, XY chromosome. So don't project that onto women. And so what if we do die alone? We came in here alone. It ain't like you gonna jump in that casket with me, or I'm gonna jump in that casket with you when they get ready to bury you. You going in there by yourself. So that again doesn't make any sense. No, you want to extract. You need to understand that you have been programmed to be a parasite, and that women have been a host for you to extract her energy. And you have been designed that way, because when y'all sit up too long by yourself, y'all fall in on yourself and you get depressed and you want to hurt yourself. You can't. And for women, for us, women want to become president. We want, we had Kamala Harris want to come in and be president. I'm going to tell you from my perspective and from the wisdom that I've gained, what would be the best outcome for women? The best outcome for women would be to start something totally new. Do not even mess with that stuff that they have set up, politics. Don't even mess with that, because they have designed that for them. Women would have to create something totally new and not give them any attention. That's what you do to the narcissist. If you want to scare men, if women want to scare men, start ignoring them, building your own organization and spiritual temples. Just mind your own damn business. Don't give them no yawning. Don't give them no conversation. Get so focused on building a world for women that you ain't got time to be sitting up holding no conversation with them about anything. That right there, because what you're doing when you do that, you're holding up the mirror. He has no choice but to look at himself if ain't nobody fooling with him. If ain't nobody arguing with him, going back and forth with him, telling him what they want from him. We absolutely don't want anything from you. What we want you to do is stay your ass over there. That's what we want you to do. We want you to stay over there. We want you to take care of you, heal you, and stay over there. We don't want you over here. You're not ready to be with us. We are going to honor your request. You said you don't want to work on yourself. We don't want to regress. We agree to disagree. You stay over there, sir, and we'll stay over here keeping women and children safe. That's what women would have to do. You want to scare them, you won't have to lift a finger. You won't have to, and it's going to happen anyway. It's going to have women that are going to, it's inevitable. Like the great mother said, it's inevitable. This has always been her world. You were not meant to be here at all, period. Your genetics don't even allow you to stay on the planet long term without going extinct. Your genetics go extinct. XX chromosomes don't do that. Yours do. You are not a natural being from here. You are GMO. You are GMO. And if they really wanted to save themselves, you would just move out the way. You ain't nobody asking you to help us or nothing. Just move out the way. Sit down. Be quiet. Some of y'all just need to sit down and be quiet. And you don't want to hear the facts. Some of that, I wouldn't even have a discussion with them, because once you start talking about biology and you start talking about their genetics, that's the end of that story. There's nothing else for you to say, sir, because you don't have any rights to anything on this planet. You were never meant to be here as long as you've been here in the first place. You keep on forcing yourself on these women and children, trying to replicate yourself to keep your numbers up. I was looking at Priscilla the Queenmaker podcast, and Priscilla the Queenmaker was talking about how women need to just love themselves like usual, and not try to interact with these men like that, and to really find out what they want, what makes them happy, instead of trying to center men. And the guy called in. It is amazing. This is what he heard. Well, how are we supposed to reproduce? Basically what he's saying, how are we supposed to get some yoni? I want some yoni. That's in me to reproduce. See, this is an automatic thing in their head. This is why you got them having these children all over the place. That's one of their genetic markers. Like an animal, like a dog, you want to breed. And you want to demoralize women into chattel slavery so they can just be breeders for you. They wish they can get rid of us. That's where that AI stuff is coming from. If they could replace women with a bot or something, I believe they would. Because they want somebody they can totally control. A person that's not human. That's where that AI going. If they could do that, they would probably get rid of women, because they cannot replicate themselves. And that is their biggest issue. That is the main reason why some of them envy women. How dare you be able to give life? How dare you be given all that power? How dare God manifest herself through you? You don't deserve this much power. How dare you have guardianship over this whole plane, whole Mother Earth? How dare you be the guardian of it? All of these precious golds and jewels and fruits and vegetables and all this stuff. How dare you have all this power? That's supposed to be mine. I'm the most powerful. I'm powerful. I'm more stronger than you. This should be mine. And that's you, so right, Chloe. Excuse just to have children and not take care of them. not take care of them. Because that stuff, when they outlawed that, I was like, that don't even make no sense. We got to hunt men down to pay child support and all this stuff, and you are going to make this illegal. We got men meeting single women just to get access to their children, to violate them and impregnate them. We got all you are dismissing all these sick ass men to push your agenda. The only thing that I could think of is that you like it like this. You like it like this. You like women being oppressed, abused, and all that. It's working. Y'all getting something out of that. You got to be. You got to be getting something out of that. That's the only way I say you are getting something out of doing that. It's working for you. And you want us to be oblivious or passive about what's truly going on to push your agenda. I'm going to tell you, they ass needs to be in subservient roles. They are like, they are mentally ill. Okay? When you mentally ill, sometimes you don't know when you mentally ill until you start healing and you start seeing, well, dang, that was poor thinking on my behalf. But if you don't know no better, you can't do any better. They are mentally ill. And until they sit down and separate fantasy from fact, they don't need to be doing nothing. You need to learn about who you are. And I forgive me, them people, whoever did that to you, I'm sorry they mess y'all up like that. I really am. It's a shame. I can't even imagine waking up, figuring out that I'm not even from this. I'm not even supposed to be here. I was genetically modified to be working for these other entities and to keep the original inhabitants subjected and in subservient roles and in slavery. Can you imagine them waking up to that? Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. That's a lot to unpack. But they got to unpack it. Because if they don't, it's going to cause, it can have a great impact on them. They think they're going to stink now. They will be extinct if they keep this up. They will be extinct if they keep this up. I mean, I am not the only person who said it. Bobby Hemmett even warned men of that. He told them men in that lecture, if you heard that lecture, he said, if you do not bow down to the divine feminine, you will be maggots. Why do you think he said that? He's a metaphysical practitioner. He's spiritual. I'm sure the great mother shared with him the same thing she shared with me. That's why he did that lecture. Now, I don't know if men took him serious when he said that. But it was the truth. Bobby Hemmett wasn't lying to you. If you do not get yourself together, you're not going to be here. That same aggression and things that you are using will be the very thing that end you. And that is the truth. Now, you can walk around here and be mad at women because we're asserting ourselves. We're coming. The great mother is bringing us back home to our natural state. We're realizing who we are. We're choosing. We're opting out of messing with some of you like that. You can, because some of them are mad. I saw an interview, and it was the craziest thing on this podcast, y'all. That boy said, I don't even think he was 35. I feel sorry for the young women because y'all really got to deal with some illiterates. I mean, y'all really got to deal. If you anywhere between 20 and 35, I can't even imagine how the dating pool is for you. It's probably horrible. It was horrible for me, but I can't even imagine how it is for you now. But that man said, he said, these women today, you can't date them too much because they'll be ready to get rid of you. They'll go ask for government assistance and get on food stamps. But they'll get on food stamps or something like that. So they got access to resources, so they won't put up. You know, they got another choice, so they won't put up with us, and they make it hard for us. He sounded crazy, right? So the girl said, well, I don't get that. I have my own business I run. What about the women that run their own business independent to have their own money? He said, oh, no, don't try to, what he said, don't try to cross me up or something like that. That was a legitimate question. He did not answer. They are so focused, again, with this same scenario. The government is taking my the government ain't doing nothing. The government can't stop nothing. You are the problem. Stop blaming it on somebody else. And you don't like the fact that if she don't have to put up with your stuff, she can go find another way to take care of herself and them children instead of you subjecting her to abuse and brutality and all that shit. That's what you want. That's what y'all want, the right to be able to put your hands on, degrade women, subject women to all types of stuff. And some of you, when I was in my 40s, I wish I would have somebody like you. I used to pray to God that he sent me something like that. Because it would be no more. I listened to all my other friends talk about that. I said, I wish God would send somebody like that to me. He would be a changed man. I would make a believer out of him. I know that's right, Chloe. And be a matter of fact with them. I'm always, and they know who to pull that stuff with. They know who to pull that head stuff with. I was with my husband, and he talked about how he beat his girlfriend up and how they fought and stuff. And I got so upset that triggered me. I said, why would you put your hands on that woman like that? Why would you want to hurt that woman like that? And you never hit me. You've never hit me. He said, because I know that you would lay me down. You wouldn't play with me at all. But you gonna go over there and put your hands on that damn woman. I got even more mad. I said, boy, let me tell you something. I said, boy, let me tell you. He said, I would never hit you. And he said, I already know what you'll do. I said, boy, don't even tell me that no more. That ain't nothing even to brag about you putting your hands on that woman, because I get mad every time you tell me that. And really, she should have bust your head to the fat meat. She should have laid you wide open. That's what she should have done. So don't come telling me what you did to this woman. Because if you ever dream about you doing anything like that to me, and I tell them, you gonna be trying to fight, but I'm going to war. So if you're not ready for war, don't play that game with me. Nothing to be proud of. That's what I tell them. I'm going to war. You think you going to a fight, but I'm going to war on you, buddy. That means that this war don't end until somebody is laid down or some blood is shed. And it ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna make sure it don't be me. You know, so these men know who to pull that with. They know who to pull that with. I've had some of them and try to talk to me, and you know what I tell them? Player, this ain't what you want. Look them dead in their face. This ain't what you want, player. You think you want to play that game with me? This ain't what you want. Whatever you think this is not that. And this is not what you want. When you say it like that, they hurry up to get the hell out your face. They know you're not playing with them. Don't you let the exterior fool you. Because I can beat you at your own game. Don't play with me. Get yourself right on over there, because you know you don't mean nobody no good. Because if you did, you wouldn't even approach me the way you did. This is not what you want. I promise you that. And most of them, I've had some, whoa, you look like you meant that. I meant every word I said with every fiber in my being. This is not what you want. You need to get you somewhere and sit down. And whatever you think this is not that. And you have to be a matter of fact with them. Because some of them come in playing. It's a game to them. What they do to us, they don't really look at you. Women, they don't look up at you. There is no emotional, for some of them, there is no emotional charge in them when they look at us. There is no emotional connection. You know how you can just feel for somebody? You see somebody that's doing bad or whatever, and you just have sympathy for them. You have an emotional, you can empathize with them. Men don't have that. Most men don't have that with women. That's why they can sit there and beat you, black your eye, and all that stuff, and still walk around and look at you after they have done that. They can cheat on you and betray you and all that stuff and come around you like they ain't did nothing. But if they do that same stuff to their homeboy, they feel some type of way. Oh, man, I ain't mean to do you like that. Oh, man, you know, we gooder than that. He can empathize more. Like I told you, they're socially and emotionally homosexual. That's like you looking at Armand Johnson. He said nothing about what these children going through. He said nothing about what Cassie went through having to deal with P. Diddy. He said nothing about Kim Porter. He is only empathizing with P. Diddy because he doesn't have the capability to empathize with those women. He just don't feel it. He feels it with the man. He doesn't feel it with the woman. Now, you can go ahead and you can date these men and look upside their head and say, oh, he loved me. You better ask him what's his definition of love, because his definition of love could be totally different from yours. And if you ask him to explain it, you're probably going to be amazed what comes out of his mouth. The only being that knows about love is a mother and a child. That is it. I'm telling you, girl, that is it. Our grandmothers have been trying to tell us. Our mothers have been trying to tell us. Our great-great-grandmothers have been trying to tell us. They have been telling us to focus on ourselves and live our life. A lot of them did not want to be married to these damn men. They just didn't. They had no choice. And I'm sure a lot of them wouldn't want to have no 8 or 9 children. A lot of these men was coming in drunk or whatever, forcing themselves on our grandparents. Because I'm sure no woman was wanting to have no 8 or 9 children, looking after no 8 or 9 children. And if you go back, they had an epidemic of women having depression because they couldn't keep up with the housework. A lot of them, they couldn't keep up with the kids and all of that while he was at work. So a lot of them started going to the doctor. And you know what happened? The doctor started putting them on meth. Yeah, they had it in pill form then. So methamphetamines is nothing new. They were putting women on this back in the 50s to try to keep up with the housework and stuff. That's where methamphetamines come from. That's where meth came from. Yeah. That first was engineered for those housewives that had all those children, and they was complaining they couldn't keep up. They were tired. They was depressed, and the doctors start prescribing them. And then after a while, I don't know, I guess they took them off the market. I guess they weren't giving them out hardly anymore, but they start putting those women, a lot of women took meth. That drug was in pill form, given to women back in the late 40s, the 50s. Them women that wouldn't want to have them children like that, they had control over their anatomy then. In fact, right now, the way they have it set up now, women and children belong to men. Men are the ones who have to is responsible for protecting and providing for women and children. They are responsible for making decisions for women and children. So now we have a new slave owner. It is the XY chromosome. They've made that legal. They've made it legal for them to control us. Isn't that something? And a lot of young women, no one told me, beloved. That's why I'm telling you. Like my mother was telling me stuff, but it wasn't making sense. You know how you like, I don't put that together. What do you mean? It's not till I got older and started processing my stuff, doing my healing work, and got on my healing journey, all of it came together for me. I don't want that for you. Because, honey, they had me sitting up in church thinking that women was made from the rib of a man. I believe that shit. I was telling my daughter that. And luckily, she autistic and she 26. And she was looking upside my head. She was like, Mama, they come from us. I said, I know that, but I didn't know that then. Because if I would have said any different, they'd have called me a devil and a Jezebel and put me out the church. You couldn't question that then. Because if you questioned that then in the church, you'd be put out. So a lot of what we're being able to question and stuff is almost fairly new to us. Because the church didn't want you looking at no other books. If you was looking at anything other than the Bible, you was committing a sin. That was the cornerstone of keeping women brainwashed. That was the cornerstone to that. They used our spiritual practices to enslave us because we're very spiritual being. Women is. We even practice the religion they made up better than them. They don't even know how to practice the same religion that you made up. You call yourself copying from women and made a religion, these doctrines and stuff. You can't even practice that. And you made it up. How come you can't follow what you made up? You made the rules to it, and you can't even keep the rules to your own religion you made up. These are the facts. They are manipulators. They are so good with their words. They love bomb. They try to charm you. They have been programmed to do this through movies, through songs. They even help each other be able to manipulate women and gain their trust and stuff. You heard Nick Cannon say it. You heard Court. These people are telling you that, but behind them are 20 more men that think just like them. And on that dating site, it's garbage. Most of the men there are going to be manipulators or some type of sex offenders. Because if they manipulate, because that is the door to sexual abuse. It's manipulation. They have to manipulate you. And to some of us, I had to look back. Some of us have been violated and don't even know it because somebody manipulated us into doing something we didn't want to do. We ain't like that man that much. We didn't want to be with that man, but he kept forcing himself on us. We just like, here, take it, get your ass up out of here. It's been like that for some women. And they will do it again. They're doing it again on the podcast. They're doing the same manipulation. And so if you know they're narcissistic and you know they're manipulators, most of them gonna fall under an offender. They're a thin line on it. It's the same thing. It's not that much more different. They're doing it now. They're just doing it on a mass scale. They're doing it on the mass. They're brainwashing us into it. But if we was to make an informed decision, ain't no way you gonna sit up there and play with no lion if you know that lion gonna bite your head off. Ain't no way we would sit there and play with a predator and we know we stand a risk of losing our life. No way. I'm not gonna go in a lion's den and play with a lion knowing that lion can hurt me. I'm not gonna go in there. But they have made it inviting to you. They have put some romance in it. They have put it in Disney pictures and made him look like he is the knight in shining armor. He is the man of God. And don't nobody possess any of those attributes but women. All these virtues they claim to have, no one has these virtues but women. Men don't have these virtues. But they'll put them in movies. Make them look like, oh, he a good guy and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, he just... And then what happens when you go out and experience that in the real world? It's very different from that movie of that love or that love song you listen to or watch. Your reality is very different. And women, some of us are in love with the idea of love. I know I was. I just wanted to be in love. Some of us are just love addicts. We're going to have to heal from that too, because that can get us in some trouble. These are facts. I know don't nobody want to hear it. I didn't want to say it. I wrote my book 89 years ago, and I said, I cannot. They are not ready to hear this. Great mother, they are not. And in fact, I don't even think I'm ready to wrap my mind around it. And about a year ago, I started getting other downloads. She started completing her downloads. She said, something is coming and you need to be ready. You think this is not about you, but it's all about you. It's always been about you. Everything that these XY chromosomes have done, it's always been about us. They making you think they don't think they don't think nothing about you, but they think everything of you because they have went through so much trouble to try to keep you away from the truth. So it is all about you. Now he can bang on his chest all he want to and say he don't need any woman and all that stuff. You sure right, prove it. That's what 4B doing to him. Yeah, you right. You sure that you don't need us? Prove it. We're gonna help you with that. You don't need women. You ain't messed up about women. That's good. Prove it. Cause we're not gonna be doing that with you either. And right in the same word that you say you don't want it, in the same word you saying that you wish women would go back to the 1930s so you can have that same control. Make it make sense. Either you don't want us or do you want us to go regress with you? They would rather for you to stand still and live in turmoil and survival with them. They are just used to surviving. This is why you got all the wars, all this survival behavior. It's just war, sex, money. War, sex, money. War. This is what they've been doing. War, sex, money. War, sex, money. This is repetitive. We don't care about nobody living, thriving, or none of that stuff. We're going to keep this up because we're going to get what we want. And this is the craziest thing to me. I said, okay, if they accomplish getting all the money and everything they want, then what? There's nothing else for you to do. After you got all the money and everything you wanted, what else it is for you to do? It's really a foolish goal to have. You are tormenting the masses because you have faulty genetics. Your mind can't go past surviving. You can only think about now and get more and more and more. Look at it. When they get some money, they're collecting women too. You see, you are a resource. They want to collect women like they're jewels. They want, but if they didn't have the money, you wouldn't have resources to have access to women. It would do women good to change the resource. Change the resource, create another resource, let them have that, and go on by our little business. Because y'all worked hard to get this like it is. Don't nobody want to dismantle it. We want you to keep it. Y'all can have that. It works for you. We found that it don't work for us. So we're going to create something else that works for us. Because you never planned to include us in y'all little thing. This is for, it got to be. Anytime that you will try to control my body, hell no, you don't need me. They harnessing women votes and all that shit. You don't need me. Women need to just get the same idea. That's the only thing we have to do, get the same idea. Stop running down there. You'll get their attention. Oh, they'll be looking at the polls. They'll be looking at, well, ain't no women here. Ain't nobody. No, ain't nothing but a whole bunch of hard heads down there just like you. Since y'all believe in each other, that's who need to be supporting you. Since y'all XY chromosome believe in each other, that's who you need to support you. You don't need us. Remember, our voice, our bot, don't none of that count. Show them better than you can tell them. That's where we are at right now. And I know this is a sensitive topic. Some of us got fathers, some of us got sons, some of us got brothers. But believe me, somewhere, like I had to accept somewhere, my relatives, my cousin was a violator to some woman. He was my cousin, but he was her violator. Should I be mad at her? Hell no, because I already know how he is. I already know how mean are. I had one of my male cousins ask me, would you set me up with that girl at church? And I said, hell no, I would not set you up with her. Why? So you can destroy that girl's life? You don't have nothing to offer that girl. I'm looking at you. I wouldn't want to date you. So why the hell would I try to hook you up with that girl? He got mad, but I don't give a damn. You're not going to have that girl mad at me, having me co-signing some yoni for you. They'll have you doing that. Hook me up with your friend. Because you are not, you know you ain't got nothing to offer. And they will use women to get access to other women. They'll have somebody co-sign on the yoni. He needs a co-signer for the yoni. Because he can't sign by himself. His credit ain't good. He need a co-signer. You understand? So they have you like that too. They will have women in their life that they're close to that will help them get access to other women. And that a lot of them, if they don't got that, they're going to get on that dating site. That dating app is full of manipulators, offenders. You don't know what frame of mind these men are in on that app. And I recommend women to get off of them. Don't use them. Matter of fact, it right now, the state the XY chromosome is in, I don't even recommend us dating them. That, like I said, this is going to be a course of 5 years that we're going to go through something. Like the great mother told me, this 5 years is going to be rough for the XY chromosome and the XX. There shouldn't be any women, I don't recommend any women getting pregnant at this time. I don't recommend any women getting no serious relationships at this time, because they're making it now hard enough too that you can't divorce them. That you got to stay married. They making that a law too. And who knows, they may even make it a law if the man stay with you 3 or 4 months that he your common law husband. They might get that desperate. I don't put nothing past these jokers. Do you hear me? Because they cannot live without you. They not going to tell you that, but they damn sure going to show you that. They ain't going to tell you that because it hurts their ego to tell you that. But it's easier to set up laws and regulations to force you into their arms so they can feel needed, like they say to you. Remember, his ego is fragile. That's the only thing that's keeping him keeping together, because innately he is not resourceful. He had to make up this fake money. He had to make up these fake societies like we live in now. He had to make all this up to look resourceful. He had to make, because really the earth is the resource. The money that they're playing with, that's counterfeit. They just used it for us to access the things that we need, and then cut us off from Mother Earth, where we can't really grow our food in the way we want to anymore. But they have cut you off from the resource and created a false resource, which is that paper money, which is starting to fall before their eyes. So that is what we're going up against. So the next thing that is coming up next is that federal shutdown. I don't know how long that they're going to keep this going on, but if you ask me, Elon Musk is the shadow president. It's not Donald Trump. I really believe that Donald Trump is only a face for him, because he know he couldn't run and win. I believe that Elon Musk is the shadow president. He seems to be popping out a lot here lately. So just pay attention to that. And then I say somewhere around the springtime, they are going to have another surprise for us that's going to out us again. They're trying to condition us to accept some of this trafficking and stuff. They're going to try to normalize that instead of get rid of it. This is why they keep picking it up and putting it back down and not letting everybody look at it. So instead of them addressing it, because they have to lock each other up, half of them will be locked up some damn where because majority of them participating in it. So rather than do that, we the one make the laws. We can make it legal. And don't let it surprise you when you start hearing them say that, because you knew this was coming. These are the sick individuals we have been dealing with for thousands of years. And it do women, don't go out there protesting, don't go out there marching. I don't recommend it because they'll use that to have access to you, and nobody probably will ever see you again. Women don't need to react. They just need to respond and be like, okay, you sure right. We're going to get over here and we're going to mind our business. That's all that needs to happen. And just with that reflection right there, narcissists can't stand to sit in their own reflection. They will self-destruct. They will turn on each other. They will turn on each other if women just mind their own business and don't give them access. And the most important thing, why I started the Cosmic Mother Ministry, I'm going to say this and then I'll probably let you guys go. I want to keep you too long. But I want to tell you this. The reason why I started Cosmic Mother Ministries is because the Great Mother said we are going to need the magic, just like we used our magic in the past, on them. That's why I got all those books and resources for you to learn as much as you can about your divine sovereignty and spiritual power on Patreon. I have a multitude of books on healing. I have a multitude of books on spirituality. And women, because see, when they try to do this, it was hard for them to do that first because we had magic. We had them fixed. See, that's the only way they work right, when you fix them. And we are going to have to go back into that again to start fixing their asses. There ain't going to be no battle of the hands of flesh and blood. This is going to be principalities and dominions. We're going to have to go back and start calling on the Divine Mother and calling up on our magic power to fix them. That's how we can. That is why you think they did away with Medusa. Why you think they was unaliving all these powerful women? Why do you think they were doing that? We are going, that is what the Great Mother told me. You are going to need your spiritual authority and power to keep them in check. They was afraid of us. That's just how powerful they was. They had to unalive a lot of the wise women because them wise women weren't playing with them. They was keeping them in check. That's why they went on that hunt like that. That's why they were so scared of women like that. Wasn't nobody playing with them. We said it one time to you. You didn't hear what we said. We go right up in that house and go up in that kitchen and start cooking us some stuff on you. Before you know it, cows dying, sheep dying, he getting sick. Because then nobody play with them like that. Nobody gonna be out there fighting with you, shooting with you, and nobody gonna be doing that with you, arguing with you, and all that stuff. The best thing to do is put them on your altar. That's what they need. Because there ain't nothing in the world that you can say or do to bring sense into him. That's what I told a lot of these young women. What I'm looking at for love? I do this tarot reason. What is so-and-so gonna call me? And so I said, honey, if you want any man now in this day, you're gonna have to fix him. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to keep him fed and fixed? Because that's what you're gonna have to do. And if you ain't willing to fix him and feed him, then you need to leave that alone. And that's an iffy chance, because if he becomes, especially with the love spells, I don't even recommend that, because that can resort out terrible for the woman. If anything, you need to dominate him and keep him dominated because of the way he thinks and his behavior patterns. You have to keep him dominated. Is this for all men? No. I would say a vast majority of them, though. You're going to have to fix them. I even had, I seen a man, what's his name? What do you call his name? His name is something Bakor. He is a Haitian. And he made a video. He said, these women talking about this 4B movement with us Haitian brothers. He said, we'll go right and put some shit on you. If you're gonna be our woman, you gonna be our woman. We don't give a damn if we have to fix you. That's what the Haitian. I said, oh my God, how many out here are trying to fix women? How many of them are doing this? This is what the Haitian man said. He said, y'all, you ain't gonna play that with me, you 4B women. I'm telling you, it's going to come to that. Because that's basically the leverage that women have. They had to come up with all these rituals and all this stuff to interface with the divine feminine. All behind that, when I look at these rituals and stuff they have set up, behind all of that is divine feminine. It's hiding behind that. Like the Pope behind everybody, he's going to bow down to a Black Mary. It's the same thing when you go to the occult and esoteric knowledge. I'm seeing it for myself. I'm looking through the books myself. They have to interface with the divine feminine. Women don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. I was listening to, I think it was an Ifa priest, he's a Babaloa. He said women, in Ifa, women don't have to study to be Babaloa because they were innately born with intuition and with the divine feminine. Only men have to go through that process. Did you know that? How many of you knew that? But you remember me saying that, I mentioned that on one video. I said, I really don't believe women have to go through all of this. It makes no sense for women have to go through all these complex rituals, and they are already connected with the divine feminine and innately intuitive. So it really doesn't make any sense why they would have to go through all of this. And I was sitting in on a Babalowo podcast the other day, and he said it with his own mouth. He said it with his own mouth. He said women don't have to go into the Babalowo, have to study to be a Babalowo. They are innately born a Babalowo. They are the ones who got to go through all these rituals. Just like I told you, when we first started teaching them how to evolve, and we gave them a body and started teaching them about spirituality, we had to take them through that to make sure they thoroughly understood the process. They weren't just giving, they had to go through a whole thing. Because again, that being is a lot younger. So it takes time to teach them. And they're not originally from here. To them, spirituality, a lot of them, spirituality is mysterious to them until their mother kind of introduced them to it. That's why hoodoo is so familiar. I bust that out in my course. And I was like, all of it is familiar because we had to go through the cosmology of Africa, then the cosmology of Native America, because it's the same cosmology. They use the same, identical. The medicine wheel looks almost just like the African cosmology chart graph. It looked almost the same. And she was asking people in the class, and she said, it's amazing how it's so familiar to each other. And I said, it's all familiar because it's matriarchal. They learn all this from their mama. That's why you'll see it everywhere. Women had basically the same. We were the herbalists. We were the healers. We were the spiritualists. We had the oral tradition. So we would pass it down to our sons. We'll pass it down to our daughters. That's why you see the similarities. So this is something for you guys to think about. I thought I would come here with an update and let you know what's happening with the UAPs, with the orbs. The new recent thing is the government shutdown. The federal government and Elon Musk. I was told the information that I acquired indicated that Elon Musk contacted Donald Trump, and some kind of way we got a federal government shutdown going on here. Okay, so that's where we're at now. Now, more to happen. I will keep you updated on any other findings or any other downloads that the Great Mother shared with me. But I do know right around that springtime, they are going to shock us again with some more of their shenanigans. And the way things are set up now, it could possibly be a coup. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you got people trying to shut off power in different states, and then you got a federal government shutdown, and then you have a crisis of lonely men, you have a lot of division in the country. And this is a great recipe for men to form a coup. So keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind. And if you're not close to some women or have a women community, I do recommend and encourage you to do so. most of all, start doing your healing and your shadow work. You can get in, you can come to Patreon at Cosmic Mother Ministries. I have a variety of resources there for healing. I think I have the Know Thyself course over there. I have to go over there and look again. But you can start your healing, doing your shadow work, processing that codependency, because we don't know how much we center men until we start to decenter them. And you'd be like, damn, like everything I do is like, fix my hair. Am I doing it for him? Am I doing it for myself? You know, so again, getting out of that program. And sometimes you don't see it until you start healing. That was certainly my experience. So if you're looking for a sister circle, if you're looking to learn more about spirituality, such as the occult, such as esoteric knowledge, you want to learn how to do simple spiritual workings, that is a great place to learn that. And I don't mind sharing there. Now, if you get the highest tier, you'll get access to a reading or a choice for 30-minute spiritual counseling. Now you make the choice. Okay, you'll have to make the choice and DM me in Patreon and let me know. But those are the resources there that I have for women. And now more than ever, we need to be walking away from them churches and walking to each other with no shade or no ulterior motive and no competition. Because now is not the time for that. It's just not. We got too much to do to be worried about who doing this and she look like this, and we don't got time for that. We just really don't. You know, that had us all caught up in shenanigans that don't even make no sense. Too busy trying to look good for them and all that stuff, and that they ain't worth it. It's just they ain't worth it. And if you ask me, they got us walking around here, some of us looking like, and I'm not trying to insult anyone, so please don't take this the wrong way. But when I look at some of this makeup, all this makeup that some of us were wearing and stuff, some of us look like drag queens. They got us looking like men. And they claim they don't like that, but yet y'all sit here and manufacture this stuff for us to look good for y'all. So I'd be glad when that starts, because if you look at some of this makeup, it look like drag queen. I was like, this is the way drag queens put on their makeup. Have you ever went to a drag queen show? Have you ever seen them perform and get ready and stuff? Some of the stuff that they doing in makeup, they do that with drag queens. I hate to say that, but they do. They got some of us looking like men. Some of us don't even need that makeup. We're beautiful just the way we are. You know, sometimes I leave the house looking crazy on purpose because I don't want to be attractive. I don't want to attract you. The only person I need to be looking good for is me. And I don't need you to tell me that, because I got a mirror at home. I knew I looked good before I left out the door. But some of us, you know, they turned us, they secretly have turned, they letting you know they attracted to men. Look at some of these makeups and look at the clothes and stuff, the tight clothes and stuff some of these men, where they letting you know that. Unconsciously, they are telling us that. Okay, beloved? But if you have any questions, or you have a specific topic that you want to talk about that I haven't hit yet, please let me know and I will cover that topic and I will discuss it, and we can discuss that as well. But like I said, I thought I would come here and I would talk about the UAP and how that relates to us, talk about these new upcoming changes and how it's impacting us, how it's going to impact us. Okay, so I thank you so much for being here with me during this live. And I'll probably come in and check in again probably at the end of the month, because that's usually when I do check in for the readings or any resources for that month that I'm offering. So I'll probably check in again. But if you guys want to talk about anything, you want to chime in, you need to contact me. You're free to DM me. Okay. All right, you guys take care. Thank you for being here. Light, love, namaste, ashe, love one.